we're in the roster building season. We don't play until September. I've checked the schedule, and so that's there's going to be a lot of time to make a lot of decisions. So I just want everybody to understand that. Just as a reminder, I'm not going to discuss negotiations. I'm not going to discuss timelines. To me, as far as I'm concerned, that's a very personal between the club and the player. So don't ask. Don't waste your time. I'll say this. It's a repeat of what I said at my postseason presser. We didn't sign Odell to trade him. Okay, so I know that's all over the place. So understand that, and that's all I need to say about that. And then the other thing, I was here listening to the questions you guys were asking, Pat, and you know, a lot of times we focus on numbers. Okay, how big a guy is, how fast a guy is, how strong a guy is, what's his vertical jump, how tall is he, what's his hand size, what's his arm length. There's all these, just a myriad of numbers, and analytics delight, okay, of numbers. You know, one of the things that we really focus on is instincts, okay? Instincts are very important. You know, you guys were asking Pat the question about the quarterback, about the quarterbacks, and you know, you can write a laundry list of things you're looking for, and it's not like you're breaking new ground, and it's not like you're splitting atoms, okay? But one of the things that I focus on, and my staff, and we talk about all the time, is instincts. Does he have a feel for the game? You know, is he playing? Is he a step ahead of everybody else? Instincts and play smarts allow you to play bigger, stronger, faster. That's a fact of life. So, you know, try, you know, if you are a film watcher, when you watch it, you know, try to focus on that. Is this guy, does he seem to have, I spent some time with an Aussie rules personnel guy a bunch of years ago. And in Australia, they say, when I was explaining what I was talking about, instincts, he said, so you're saying to me, do they have the chip? That's what they call it down there. So to answer your question about tall quarterbacks, shot quarterbacks, you know, roly-poly defensive linemen, a lot of it's instincts and play smarts. So with all that being said, let the games begin. I'm sorry? You do, you know, and it's really funny, you know, obviously, you know, and I've said it before, it's a big man's game. You know, you talk about it all you want, you know, the game's changing and everybody's, you know, going crazy about all the stuff the college guys are doing. Bottom line is it's a big man's game. So if you don't have size, if you're missing a PQ, a physical quality, so to speak, instincts can, you have to have what I call a compensating factor. Okay, and the compensating factor can, a lot of times, is instinct. Sam Mills was 5'9", may he rest in peace, was 5'9" on his, you know, in high heel sneakers, but he could find the ball. The other day I was watching Luke. I was watching Carolina defensive film, and I was watching Luke, and I'm just saying to myself, I mean, it's like he's in the huddle. It's amazing, you know. So, and that doesn't just apply to a defensive player. It applies to every position on the field.
You heard earlier that Pat signalized back in 2019. You were a little vague on that at the end of the season press conference. What led you guys to decide that?
Well, it's a never-ending process, Ralph. You know, we haven't even hit free agency yet. You know, so you know, like I told you, I had my conversation with Eli back right after the season ended, and we are where we are. Like Pat said, there's a million different models. There's a million different ways to do this, and you could cite a number of models where they had a veteran guy and they drafted a young guy, and at some point in time the torch got passed, and away everybody went, and it was a happy away everybody went. So, there's still a lot of time to make these decisions.
But is it safe to say you're not looking for a veteran to
I'm not. I can't say anything like that. I can't do it. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. I just told you it's all we're evaluating everything, and we just got to keep moving forward.
Dave, when you do your evaluations, how much does the fact that you don't have a third-round draft pick right now, does that play into anything?
Yeah, I'm not. It's really funny. For what it's worth, we really feel strongly that if Sam were in this draft, he'd be a second-round pick. We feel pretty strongly about that. So while it's aggravating that we don't have a third, I mean, it's Sam steps up and he's doing really well with his rehab and everything. The surgery went well, and so if he's the guy we believe he is, then we won't be mad.
not asking about negotiations long term with Landon? You have a deadline next week with Landon.
I guess.
So says the NFL.
If they say it, you got to believe it.
Will you tag him regardless of negotiations just to make sure you have him for 2019?
We're still evaluating.
How important is it to have him back on the team?
Well, like Pat says, you always want players on good players on your team, but Jordan, whoa. Jordan, here's what everybody has to understand, okay? You got 53 players on your club and you got a salary cap, right? Okay, you don't have 53 silos. Decisions like this cannot be made in a vacuum. You can't do it. So it's a process.
Dave, you talked about your film study you were going to do on Eli. I'm just curious what you saw when you look back, if naturally you saw when things were happening live, and if that's kind of guiding you to where you are.
The short answer is yes. Okay, you want a little more than that? The short answer is yes. Really and truly, like Pat said, we came in and it was a whir, and we evaluated the team as best we could, made decisions, moved forward, and feel very strongly we made some good strides. Okay, at the end of the day, we saw what Eli was capable of once we gave him help. He still can make big league throws. He can still make the NFL throws, and it's. I say it all the time. It's the ultimate team game. It is, because 10 guys, do everything perfect, and the offensive lineman falls down. The guy gets whacked. So to answer your question, we looked at Eli and we feel good about him.
Philosophically, though, and Pat talked a lot about this earlier, that when everybody is playing at a high level and people play better around him, is that feasible in today's NFL? You need the quarterback to have everything perfect rather than a quarterback who can make the people around him better.
I didn't say he needed everything to be perfect. Okay? What quarterback doesn't? What's that?
Brady, I think when things break down, he can improvise a little bit more.
Well, you're talking about a 38-year-old guy against a 21-year-old pup. I mean, you have to. Here's what I'm going to say. And I've really been thinking about this. I had a headache. That's why I hurt myself, I think. I've really been thinking about this. The narrative around Eli for the past 4 years, 5 years since I was gone was really negative. The narrative's been negative. And there's an old saying, you tell a lie long enough, you believe it. The narrative is so negative that when you take that position, most people struggle getting off that spot. Most people struggle saying, I'm going to look at this with fresh eyes. So, for example, all right, when you evaluate pro players, every year is a new year. When you evaluate him, it's a new year. Yes, before he was at this level, But that doesn't mean when you look at him, he's automatically at this level or at this level. You've got to take everything for what it's worth at that time. And I think that the narrative has been negative, and I don't think it's been fair. Part of it. Yeah, you know, Tom, it's going to go hand in hand. We live in a blame society. That's what we live in. Okay, you know, I got in a car accident, it's his fault. No, maybe you ran the stop sign. You know? Everybody's pointing fingers. No one wants to take responsibility. It's part of it. It's like I said, Tom, it's the ultimate team game. You know? You don't win it by yourself, you don't lose it by yourself.
But David, all along, all that being said, at the end of the season, you're pretty clear with the idea of you know your situation at quarterback.
Yes, we do. Yep.
38-year-old quarterback. So, is the perception that you guys are sticking with Eli and, for all intents and purposes, kicking the can down the road to not have to make another decision at quarterback fair?
No, it's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. Free agency hasn't played out. The draft hasn't played out. I don't think it's fair. You know, listen, I have this crazy idea that my responsibility is to every decision we make is in the best interest of the New York Giants. Okay? I think I said this before. Ron Rivera used to kid me. He used to say, wait until you have to cut one of your draft picks. Because when I first got to Carolina, I didn't know any of those guys, you know. So I had to make moves, and you do what you have to do. And when the time came, I picked and chose who we paid money to. I'm going to do the same thing here. These decisions are not made with my heart. They're made with my head, and with the experience I have, and I've been lucky. I've been around a few Super Bowl teams. I know what it takes to build one. I know what it should look like. And at the end of the day, no, I don't think it's fair.
So conceivably, you could see Eli Manning back on your roster for this year.
Yes.
And another quarterback, whether it's a veteran or a rookie, to challenge him at that spot or for the future.
Yes. The only way, you know, it's really funny. You can't be afraid to draft over a player. Okay? You don't go. You don't. So you're in the draft, okay? You've gone through free agency. You got all your stuff going, and you're sitting there, and you've got a good player at a position, and a young kid comes up at that spot, staring you in the face. You can't be afraid to draft him just because you already got one. The more competition you can create, the better your team will be. And you have to create competition at every position. You have to. Because if you don't, unfortunately, human nature sometimes takes over, and now the guy gets a little lazy, and he thinks he's anointed, and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying, Art? So, does that make sense?
Have you ever gotten that situation where you look at Eli and think because he hasn't had any competition, or do you think bringing in competition might actually bring his game to the level that you're expecting?
Absolutely. Very possible that that's going to happen.
Is adjusting the $23.1 million cap number something you consider?
I'm sorry?
Is adjusting Eli's $23.2 million cap number?
Jordan, you have to look at everything. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying I'm going to do anything. I'm just saying you have to. It's my job. It's my job to take everything into consideration.
Dave, what about backup? This might be a big contract. There's still speculation the Giants.
Well, you guys got to write about something, I guess. I don't know. It's like, speculate all you want. I've already made my statement on that.
Dave, you expect Olivier Vernon to be on the team this year?
Again, we're in the evaluation process, I hope I'm with the team this year.
Dave, why were you comfortable trading Eli Apple? What did you think of how he did after going to Saints?
Why was I comfortable trading Eli? Because of the value we got in return, and We thought it was in the best interest of the New York Football Giants. Well, you have to. I mean, you can't. Again, I mean, shame on me if I don't check my whole card. You know. So yes, I did.
Dave, you've been around Super Bowl teams and you've been around Super Bowl quarterbacks. You haven't like drafted a quarterback. You haven't drafted a franchise quarterback.
Me personally?
Yeah.
No.
In the position you're in.
I've been spoiled as hell.
All right. So you have been spoiled.
Oh, you kidding me? Kelly, Elway, Manning, Cam Newton. Not bad, huh?
But now you're in a
Now, ooh, yeah, exactly.
what will you use and are you confident that you'll pick the right guy and that will be a major influence on what happens to the Giants moving forward at some point in the next year or two, I would think.
Listen, you know, it's really funny. I have one of the best consiglieres of all time. I talk to Ernie all the time. And what Ernie did for the Giants, it would be a dream for me to do the same thing. Does that answer your question?
Two more.
I'm sorry?
You weigh the long term, the quarterback position, and your position in draft potentially. How much is the relative depth of talent at that position matter to you in one draft class versus potentially in the future? Because there's a quarterback in next year's draft class that you yourself have scouted, that your organization has scouted and chosen to return to college. How do you try to weigh this year versus?
You know, it's an interesting question. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, you can't say to yourself, I'm going to get him next year. You have to take you evaluate the cues, and you take the guy when the time is, when you believe he's the guy and it's at the right spot. You can't worry about the future because, you know, now someone else is going to say, well, in 2 years there are a couple of college quarterbacks coming out that are really amazing. You know, who knows? But so you know, it's you know, it's like I say to myself, I look at the NBA, okay, and everybody says, oh, you got to tank. We're going to tank. We're going to get this. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing, kid? You know, we're gonna do this. We're gonna tank, and we're gonna get this great player. What NBA team has tanked and it's worked? Because they think they're going to get. When they win a championship. When they win a championship, we can have a discussion. But until that happens, it hasn't worked. Okay, so at the end of the day, if the right guy is there at the right time, you know, who we think is the right guy, we'll pull the plug.
But in assessing this year's class of quarterbacks,
Which is just at the very beginning of the process. You've got Indy, you've got the workouts, we've got private visits, we've got interviews. You can't line them up now, and if anybody has them lined up now, God bless them. They're smarter than me.